So welcome to Big Day Talk. We are here this morning with the gorgeous ladies from Marchwiel Hall. So say hello and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Emma and I am director here, and I tend to look after everything client related, supplier related and event wise.
Amazing.
Hi, I'm Kirsty. I'm director and co-owner of Marchwiel Hall with my husband Lawrence. I do a lot of the housekeeping, the gardening and event organising with Emma.
So Marchwiel Hall is a family home then. How did that come about for you?
Yeah, it was bought in 1913 by Sir Alfred McAlpine, and it's moved through the generations to me. Yeah. And Lawrence and I moved in about 2010, between 2010 and 2013, because we were in between here and South Africa. And I believe that my kids are the first generation to have grown up here. They're the fifth generation to live here.
So it's a big place for the kids to live, isn't it?
It is, yes. It's a lot. It's been a lot of fun for them growing up and running around.
Yeah.
So 1913, does that make this a graded building then? Or is this not listed? This is a graded building?
Yeah, so it's grade 2.
Grade 2. Is that difficult then when you want to do something to the building? Do you find there's more hoops to jump through? Or?
There are definitely more hoops to jump through, absolutely, yeah. And any major alterations, we have to talk about it and get planning for it. But the way that we've wanted to progress with it is to keep it as it was always intended to. Anyway, we didn't want to make any major alterations to it. We just wanted to bring it back to its original beauty.
Well, it's a beautiful home, and the work you've done is amazing. I mean, we took a little tour around, and everything you've done, it's true to the heritage, but it's also cleaner, it's classy, I mean, as far as a home goes, obviously everyone would be very jealous to live here, but as far as a wedding venue goes, it's also it's so neutral in the fact that it wouldn't clash with a colour scheme, and
that's
it has
exactly what we were aiming for.
It has that elegance feel to it, which is really lovely. So you've done a wonderful job.
It's very much Lawrence that has done most of the hands-on work that you see around you. In terms of all the paintwork and even the decor, everything really. He's had a major hand in those decisions, and then I'll help with the final choices.
So he does a lot of the DIY then?
Yeah.
He does everything,
absolutely,
which is brilliant, because there's never, anything out of place. Everywhere looks fresh all the time.
Meticulous in those details.
Yeah, absolutely. And we always say, don't we, if there are 10 Lawrences, there wouldn't be any issues in the world, because he just gets everything done, and he just does it even before we can tell that anything's been done. But it is really good. And when we were doing the interiors, because it's been quite a journey really when we look back. I mean, obviously you guys have done the house up, and then we finished the interiors off probably a year ago now.
About that, yeah.
And even choosing the curtains. So when I went to do the curtains, we literally must have had how many choices? How many rolls did we have hanging up? This would be great, then no. And it's really nice that you say that it's like clean and elegant looking, because we really wanted people to be able to come in and be able to bring their ideas and their themes without having to contend with, bright blue dining room or, really big bright curtains. And the feedback that we've had from people, I mean, people have been blown away, haven't they?
Yeah, it's lovely. And the way that people naturally comment on how each room makes them feel as well. Like this room, it's very relaxing.
Yeah.
And then the morning room is very easy to dress in whatever fashion you want it for. And then there's the dining room as well, which is very masculine. And, Lawrence has been up on a ladder painting bits and pieces.
It has a good masculine energy about that. I think we talked about that being a really good place for kind of grooms to kind of hang out with. I think that's the dining room, isn't it? With the Chesterfields, and it's got that kind of nice cigar lounge, almost gentleman's club kind of feel to it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Really
That's
nice.
exactly it. And with the walnut panelled walls as well in there, it makes a really nice intimate feel as well. When we've hosted dinner parties, because we can seat up to 20 in there. We hosted quite a few Christmas parties this last year, and everybody just says you forget about the outside world, don't you, when you're in there, because you're just encompassed by the room.
Yeah.
And it's a grand room as well, but you don't feel like you're out of place in there. And when the fire's going, It's great, isn't it?
No,
I mean, we
lovely.
sit next to the fire, don't we, doing our work with our computers.
I tell you what, and this is going to sound really picky, but obviously, after 19 years, we've seen a lot of venues, been up and down the country, around the world. But then there's certain venues that we work with every now and then. Even some of the commercial venues still do it, and it still kind of bugs me, where they'll have, and what you've done is really well because you've kept it clean. They'll have pictures of their family in the places where the couples are going to get ready, in the place where they're going to do so. And that's not really the part of the building they use anyway, but they're just so determined not to let go, but they don't want to give over the fact that the weddings are a part of their business and they're a part of their identity and part of what they're going to be doing going forward. And these are long established venues, but they've decided to make sure their stamp is in every single room.
Okay.
And this is my family home. And there's some very big estates that still kind of insist on having these kind of family pictures. And and when you're in the room, you don't 100% feel cozy because you just feel like you're in someone else's living room.
Yeah, you won't relax fully, will you?
And when you're here, it feels so bright and neutral, but classy and elegant, and you don't have that imposing of like 10 generations of pictures on the fireplace where you feel like, should I even be in this room, and who are those people? And
the dining
that was
room
what we
used
had
to have
in
it, didn't it?
the dining room did, yes. Used to have all the family portraits.
sounds terrible when you say it, doesn't it? But then when you analyse it for weddings, and they're a very particular thing, aren't they, as to how people need to feel it's their house.
Well, we wanted to keep the personal side in our personal area of the house. And that was a decision that we made, actually.
And I think also it's really important to say, like, the whole point about, Marchwiel Hall and how we're wanting to, encourage people to be here is you are being welcomed into a family home. And we want you to feel like a part of the family, so that you're fully relaxed on your day. And this feels like your home. It's not about us, it's about you. So, to be able, we had a fantastic wedding just before Christmas. And, there was quite a few of them were a lot older, and we knew that in here this would be the perfect place for them to be because they wouldn't want to be down by the music. So it's like putting in the extra chairs.
It changed throughout the night, didn't it?
It really did.
With the older generation in here, and then the kids came in here to play chess.
And we had, children as young as 1, 2, going up to, I think the oldest person was, nearly 90 years old. And it was to ensure that every single person felt as relaxed as they possibly could do, in the house. We couldn't get them out of here in the end, could we? We had one permanent member of bar staff in here, constantly refreshing the drinks, and it worked really well. And it's nice to have the feedback from everybody saying how they feel like a member of the family once they've been here with us.
Almost their home for the day.
Absolutely,
kind of vibe.
yeah. And it's like when we have couples coming, they'll pretty much always sit on the sofa that Kirsty and I are sat on, and after about half an hour, whether they've had a cup of tea or a nice glass of fizz with us, they all say, "Oh, we don't want to leave. Can we just stay?" And it's like, yeah, absolutely, you can. And we always encourage them to bring, either mother of the bride, father of the bride, or mother or father of the groom. And it's like, please bring extra members of the family before the big day. Let them feel relaxed as well. And we do find that on the day when they see us as well, they're like, "Oh yes, you're here," because we're the team that everybody sees.
Because it's just the three of us, and it always will be. Really.
We always get invited to the weddings as well. And we're like, "No, we will be there, but we're behind the scenes."
It's nice though, because I think especially with like podcasts like this, what it really does is put a face to everything. And what you do see a lot of with commercial venues, they are wedding factories, and that's okay because there'll always be. There's a reason why they exist. And that's nice if you're okay with that. I've never been a particular fan of it's just a 9 to 5 shift that's there. And the person who's there tomorrow won't remember you, may not even meet you, and you couldn't come back a year later and they'll have any idea who you are because they do so many weddings, or because they're only in for that day and it's just a shift that they're doing, they don't have that go the extra mile, thing about them.
Whereas we live here, so it's a case of if you want to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, I can open the door.
And I think that's really important to point out, because obviously it's been a bit of a journey at understanding, when the right time for suppliers to come on board, early in the morning and leave at the right time in the evening. But because this is so tailor-made, we really want our clients, one of the big questions we get asked is, can we come the day before to see the setup, or do we have to pay to come in? And you're like, yeah, of course you can come.
Yeah.
Come down, bring you. And we actually encourage people, and quite a few of our clients do have dinner the evening before in the dining room. So the bridal party, and we've got the 2 cottages on site as well. So a lot of the time, the bride will stay in one with the bridesmaids and the grooms in the other with the groomsmen. So they can stay apart, but they're still together the night before, and that works really well, doesn't it? And we all know, don't we, that if we've got a bride with a bridal squad of, 6 bridesmaids and the wedding's starting at 1, well, you're not doing hair and makeup at 9, 10. No. You're doing it at 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're more than happy, or I'm more than happy, to be up with them, getting people in, getting the feel going for the day.
It's so exciting. I love seeing the day come together.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love about this place is obviously you've got the curved driveway, haven't you? So you've got the gates, and then you come through like the little wooded area, and then you drive up to the building, and it's there, isn't it? It looks
I quite
absolutely
like
gorgeous.
With the first half of the driveway, that woodland, it's quite dark, and then you suddenly come out of it, and it just opens up, and you see the house in front of you. Yeah, it does have quite a.
It is gorgeous. I mean, when we saw it, it wasn't the nicest of days, but it really stood out, and you think to yourself, in the summer, this place must just really beam, especially the colour of the building with the white.
Big white building, it does scream weddings, doesn't it? So one of the early things that we did with it was paint it just off-white, just because I sneeze when I see something white.
It was a bit too bright white.
So it was a bit too much. So it is still white, it's just slightly off-white.
Yeah. It's quite easy to get to though. I mean, when we were driving up here, so you're situated in North Wales, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then you've got, because we're only a stone's throw from Wrexham.
Yes, so my family, Alfred McAlpine, it was his dad, Robert McAlpine, that first moved down from the Glasgow area. He was a builder, got in bricklaying, construction, and he moved down south. And between him and his son, Alfred McAlpine, they did a lot of mining in the area, and that's how they first came about the Wrexham area. As I'm sure you're aware of how heavily invested the city has been in mining. So that's how we first ended up in the area.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously the house was built as their country escape, I would assume, from the London area, and to be closer
nice escape,
to
isn't it?
work and business.
Yeah.
So are there any connections between Marchwiel Hall and kind of the local area between, because I noticed you've got a cricket club right opposite here. So.
Yes, so the cricket club was established. They first started playing cricket. It was before the McAlpines moved in.
Okay.
I think was that the Percy family, first started with the cricket, but that was a huge part of the McAlpines' lives as well. Yeah. And Alfred McAlpine, he was on, I think it was the Denbighshire Cricket Board in the early days, and he was for a very long time, for I think pretty much his entire life. He was on quite a few different sports committees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And one fun story I've heard. So our cricket club, it's the Marchwiel and Wrexham Cricket Club. So back when there was a cricket club in Wrexham, they met with a whole load of other local lads in a pub called the Turf, and they suggested that maybe they should set up a football club as well.
Oh, wow.
And it's since then that the Wrexham team, the Wrexham cricket team, disbanded and joined our Marchwiel club. Apparently, this is just an anecdote I've heard.
Right.
Oh,
So,
but it's quite
Wrexham
fun.
Football Club could say it came off the back of Marchwiel and Wrexham's cricket club. That is interesting. But what's funny is Kirsty and I've got fond memories of when we were younger. I mean, my father played cricket here, and all the cricket that went on in the background. Because
there's a lot of local people who will talk about the cricket club and what they've the time that they've spent there.
Yeah,
it's quite surprising.
Oh, so it's got some real big connections and heritage then to Wrexham as a town, that club.
Yeah.
Wow.
Massively. And I think that also, just shows our vision of how much we want to do for the community as well moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, Alfred McAlpine, he built a bunker, didn't he, in the local school after during World War II. And it's really interesting, what the house was used for throughout the war. I mean, it's really nice because we've had suppliers come here, and one of the ladies said to us, we've got a fantastic picture of my father as a little boy outside Marchwiel.
Oh, wow.
Because Marchwiel was used as a hospital during World War II.
Right.
And we also had a lot of children, didn't we, coming from outside the cities.
Yeah, they'd send them here as a safe haven.
Oh,
it's really nice looking back at the history as well, isn't it? I mean, we used to have, because we've got the gamekeepers' cottages, one of the ladies actually in Wrexham Council, isn't she? She said, her father was the groundskeeper here. Yes. He used to look after, because he used to breed all the ducks, golden pheasants. I mean, we used to have about 100 guinea fowl, didn't we? He used to invade the cricket pitch.
They have to stop the game in order for the guinea fowl could move off.
Yeah, that was when they were playing for Lords.
Yeah, the Village Cup. Yeah,
so it was quite an important cricket match, wasn't it? You imagine 100 guinea fowl landing on the pitch. Oh dear. Yeah, so it's quite nice to continue that feel of community, isn't it? And we've had such an incredible welcoming, not just from the wedding community, but also from the local community of support. And everybody, realises how important Marchwiel Hall is for the community, and how proud they are to have, such a beautiful house like this. We want to work quite closely as well with the local charities like the Nightingale House.
And the Rainbow Trust.
And Rainbow Trust, and even if it's just in the summer, having people round to have a look round the gardens, to use it as that breakaway place, because like you say, we're located fantastically in a gorgeous little pocket of Marchwiel, just outside of Wrexham, 20 minutes from Chester, an hour and 10 minutes really from Manchester. But when you stand outside in the gardens, you can't hear.
No, it's so peaceful, isn't it? It's quiet.
Occasionally you can hear the ice cream truck in the village. When the wind's in the right direction.
But it's really, it's almost like serenity, isn't it? It really is beautiful.
Yeah, you wouldn't know you were so close to a city.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's gorgeous. I mean, you come up the driveway and, there's a horse grazing in the field opposite, and like I said, you've got that kind of closed wooded area, and then you come around the corner and there's the big reveal, and you feel like you've just gone through a tunnel almost, and come out into this kind of this peaceful garden. But we took a walk around the grounds, and
there's so many parts as well to the garden, which I love. The big tree.
Everybody remembers the big tree.
That is something that you look at and you automatically go back to being a kid and want to climb on it, don't you? You can't help but look and go, ooh, that must have been fun as a child.
It was.
You did then.
Kids and my cousins remember, they're a bit older than me as well, but they remember climbing up there.
Yeah.
It's a case of doing what you had to, come and say hello to Granny and then run off to the tree.
And you'll have to come back in April, May really, because the carpet of bluebells that are underneath it are just, kids aren't allowed to go anywhere near it then, are they? Like the bluebells. Don't go near the bluebells. And I think that's something else that's really gorgeous about the hall as well. It doesn't matter what time of the year you come, it always looks absolutely stunning. The gardens change, don't they, seasonally. I mean, one of my favourite times of the year has got to be between April, May and June, because the rhododendrons that are here, the colour.
Wow.
It's just stunning.
For me, it's the bluebells.
I feel like you need to photograph those, and those are the kind of pictures you need to be having in the rooms at different times to kind of show off the different seasons. So when somebody does come here in the winter, they can see these gorgeous scenes, or have someone paint it. It's stuff like that. It's always gorgeous to kind of capture, isn't it, in a moment in time.
And Kirsty's so well looking after the gardens because she's very modest about it. We have a couple of people that cut the grass, but Kirsty literally does all of the gardening. And, it's so nice. Like, we had one couple here the other day who were talking about their colour scheme for 2026. And Kirsty's like, fabulous. So I tell you what, I'll change some of the bedded flowers and we'll make sure that theme comes through. We'll really concentrate on whites and light pinks. And, it really is just how you go above and beyond with it.
Definitely,
it is gorgeous. I mean, the roses in the gardens.
Has that always been a passion for you, Kirsty, then, having a green thumb?
It hasn't exactly been a passion. I always thought of my mum as being quite a keen gardener, and I just kind of assumed that I'd be born with that bone, but I can't say that I was at
You're working at it then.
Yeah. I haven't done any training or anything like that, so there's been
But the grounds
steep
do look
learning
gorgeous.
curve. Thank you.
They really do.
Vic's mum's very similar. She's got, you know, her grounds are created, curated. With, you know, there's but they've managed to, you know, get palm trees to grow and it all.
Wow. They always wanted a house or a garden that reminded them of being abroad.
Nice.
So that when they were at home
brilliant.
and they weren't abroad, they could obviously feel like they were. So yeah, there's quite a few palm trees and tropical plants
Do they
and
have
stuff.
to wrap them up in fleece?
Some
every
of them
winter?
now are that hard wearing, they don't need anything.
Oh, wow.
They're fine. And then like in the conservatory they had lemons growing, different fruits, and we've got grapevines. It was lovely.
So nice, isn't it?
Oh yeah. So.
Some of that's then translated into our garden because of, you know, Vic then taking
Yeah.
So now we've ended up with a tropical selection.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
But really nice for like the kids to see as well.
Yes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like different fruits and vegetables growing. I mean, Kirsty and I always have a bit of a competition each year, don't we, of who can grow the best veg?
Yeah.
And we keep saying the walled gardens, which is a really stunning area of the hall. You know, we really want to bring back to life, don't we? With introducing some of our own vegetables, own herbs, and be able to have that, you know, served in the drinks, you
That'd be
know, with
nice.
the
Yeah.
herbs.
It'd be
It's-
lovely. My mum remembers when it was a productive walled garden as well.
Yeah.
She remembers the border that was just for cut flowers that would be brought into the house.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
And the south-facing wall that was used for, you know, certain vegetables and things like that.
So you've got lots of plans then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of exciting plans moving forward to just keep it like Kirsty's fabulous at creating the scents that you smell when you walk into the home.
It does smell gorgeous.
You
That
know.
is a passion of mine. I do
Yeah.
love playing with essential oils.
So Kirst makes all of these. We've probably got about 5 solid, you know, gorgeous scented candles now. So, you know, our bride and groom can choose which one they prefer, and then Kirsty makes the scents for them. So we burn it on their wedding day, and that's a gift from, you know, us to them.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to create workshops, don't we, where the bride can come with her bridal party
that.
and make her own scents to begin
wow.
with, and all of these
sounds
little things.
amazing.
You can see a gorgeous direction,
Yeah.
can't you?
Yeah.
And you love making like the floral crowns, don't you?
I do, yeah. I do love playing with flowers as well. Yeah.
You're just so good at it, and we've got a lot of florists locally that would. As you know, the wedding industry around here, we're so lucky. We have like the best in industry, don't we? Yeah, located just, you know, up the road from us, and we're very lucky that we've got a lot of great local suppliers who we love having up at the hall all the time. So there's one florist that really wants to come and, you know, teach the bride how she'd actually tie her own bouquet.
Oh,
And,
wow.
Yeah.
you know, we want to offer
That's
those
nice.
different, more personable touches. Again, making you feel like you know the hall before you even come here. And to say that we really do want to do it so that we're growing our own cut flowers.
Yeah.
And for a bride to choose her flowers and know that they're
wow.
cut from the gardens
Yeah.
of Marchwiel.
That's special.
That is definitely the next thing that I would
Yeah.
really love to
Yeah.
create.
Yeah,
I
and
understand that. The price of flowers has gone sky high.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
So if you can do that yourself, and you know, it's sustainability, isn't it, for the
Yeah.
actual building
Yeah.
itself?
It's also the connection, though, isn't
Absolutely.
it, to that
Yeah.
place? Because what we see that's really nice. I mean, you get a lot of exclusive venues, and obviously we love exclusive venues because it's just so nice coming here knowing that you're the only wedding taking place that day.
Yeah.
You know, you're not in some hotel where there's 2 or 3 weddings happening at the same time, or you're in some, you know, big wedding factory where there's just one after another, after another, after another. And it's nice having that exclusivity. And I think one of the things that exclusive venues lose out on is you can't always go back to that exclusive venue one day and just pop your head in and say hello or have a cup of tea or have an afternoon tea or any of those kind of things. Some do. Hopefully that's something that you'll look at in the future. And I think it's really nice for couples to, because when we take them out and say like an engagement shoot somewhere, that place we'll take them to will now become special to them. Just like the candle that they'll make, that scent will become special to them. The flowers that they pick will forever mean something to them.
Yeah.
And being able to, sometimes you have closed door exclusive venues where they can't go back at all. So once you're married there, as amazing as that experience would have been, they can never go back because it's not an open restaurant or it's not an open hotel where you can just wander in.
Yeah.
And this sounds so much more open and more friendly.
Oh,
that,
absolutely.
You know, the fact that people could just pop by or say hello and have that kind of inclusivity of, you know, of it not being closed doors.
That's
Absolutely.
exactly what we want to create, definitely.
But also what we find is, I mean, a couple of the couples last year, because you're so involved in their wedding, you become such good friends with them. Like I spent Christmas with one of the families, and you do become part of one another, don't you? It's so nice. But what we find is couples that have been here will say, oh, could we do Mum's 60th birthday here? Oh, could we do this? And like you say, it's absolutely, come back. And I think they feel safe at knowing that you are always going to deliver the day that they want, aren't we?
Yeah.
And sometimes, because we don't like to say no. Now, obviously we have to say no sometimes, but we have had some pretty wild requests, haven't we? Helicopters, guinea pigs, alpacas. And we don't like to say no to people.
No, there's a way forward.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like when you sit in front, which I'm sure you guys know as well, when you have a client that sits in front of you and says, oh, we'd really love to do this, they're not going to achieve that on the day because it won't work with timings or it won't work.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah, and you can sit and advise and say, well, have you thought about this? Let's implement it here.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's have that. We really love to create that flexibility, that bespoke feeling. And I think our suppliers love that as well, don't they? They just love how we all have fun when the event's happening, because everybody runs so streamlined. Everybody's so good at their job.
Yeah.
Everybody picks up the slack if the bar's too busy. We'll pick up some glasses and say, let's go and take this. Everybody mucks in and does everything, don't they?
Yeah.
Which is great. That's what, a family venue is.
Yeah.
You should be able to all participate and all be able to,
And that's what we love about our suppliers as well, is that we all work together in whatever way we need to.
Oh, you'll be amazed. I mean, we try to explain to people, but I don't know if the message ever fully gets through that a wedding day is just a lot of micro problem solving. And most of what we do is protecting that experience for the couple, and that goes through from early planning right through to the execution of the day. And there are days where you're moving chairs because they're having something outside, and you're helping the venues kind of get that sorted quickly, cutting labels out that didn't need to be there because we carry things like scissors and bits and bobs on us and whatnot, or Vic's ended up doing emergency sewing to put something right, or you're having to go have a chat with somebody to sort a problem or deal with that issue, or you're forever doing stuff that's not part of your job description. Your job description for us is just to walk around, click, or film those things. But that's not what running a wedding is. No. It's a lot of it is the experience that they're going to have in them. And remembering to kind of go up to them, because we do this a lot, where we might discuss something, but we'll still go up to them and say, how do you feel about that thing we talked about? Is that still something you want to do? Yeah. And kind of gauging their energy and where they're up to.
Yeah. Because how much it changes throughout the day. Yes. And, we had a wedding where there was a big commute coming from the church. They were coming from Liverpool, and we had 60 guests that needed to be here. Some of them got there before the bride and groom, before a couple of the flowers that were being swapped over. And it was ensuring, wasn't it, that people were in the right place at the right time. And the bride really wanted them to go into one room, but it wasn't going to work because they'd see the flowers being set up. So it's just knowing, isn't it, to discreetly just move people around and allow the flow to stay how you want it. And we always tend to say to the bride, just quietly, have you had a drink? Have you had something to eat? Make sure you have this. And we've got a beautiful bridal suite upstairs, and we always tend to find that when we look at the bride and she's like, I can tell her feet are hurting, or, it's like, why don't you nip up to the bridal suite? Go up there for 10 minutes with the groom, go and have a nice glass of champagne and just be present in the moment, for 10 minutes or so, and come back downstairs.
Take a moment to enjoy your day.
And the photographs upstairs are always so beautiful, aren't they? The photographers, as you know, the windows are so gorgeous in the house.
Oh, the light here is amazing.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Even on a dull day.
Yeah.
So there's some great opportunities to get some great photographs coming down the main stairs. I mean, the stairs are beautiful.
They are unique, very unique. There's a lot of grand staircases out there, but they're all dimly lit. They never have that gorgeous. When you walk into this open light, this open space.
Funny, Lawrence and I were looking through pictures of other places. I think it was just yesterday. even, and oh look, they've got a similar staircase to us, but they haven't got the roof lantern. Oh look, and that one's there and hasn't got the roof lantern. So
they're naturally dark staircases. I think you don't realise it with your eyes because your eyes just correct for it. When you're trying to do photography, they are naturally quite dark spaces because typically lighting just doesn't reach those kind of areas, or it has limited lighting because it's you can't, unless you have like spotlights all the way down, which doesn't really exist in these kind of era of houses. So was that skylight always there? Has it just been kind of tidied up and
again, it was one of the very first things that we tackled was because it wasn't exactly watertight. So it's over the years we'll hear the odd drip. We've got to go and tackle, but we're pretty much there now.
It makes such a difference and you can imagine that journey from the bridal suite down down those steps. And I think that's something a lot of people look for, and they don't realise that that's something they want, but when they're actually taking that journey or get to see it back, I often find that's a big attraction for people to have like a gorgeous staircase or something to have a grand entrance of sorts.
And it's not a skinny staircase either, it is a wide one, so it's one of those ones you can walk down with Dad.
And with a big dress.
Or whoever's walking you down the staircase. It's lovely.
The man of the dress.
You can have a big dress. It's not a problem.
I was very specific with the mirror at the bottom of the staircase. It had to be in the right place so that she can see herself coming down.
Oh, that's really clever. That's really good. Is that just so she can kind of... Because you don't get to see yourself much when you're in the final moments.
No, exactly.
You do a quick little check and then people are taking your picture and doing things for you.
Yeah.
And you don't get to have that, to actually see yourselves on the steps.
That's it.
With whoever's walking down the aisle, arm in arm.
It was quite an awkward moment positioning it because you kind of... when you're just looking at the mirror, you feel that it's not quite in the right place, but it has to be there so that you can enjoy your journey down.
And that level of detail is, I think, is really special.
I've had very little to do with that detail. It's like I said, a lot of it is all
You're being
Lauren's,
too modest.
But that was one I was specific on.
But I have to say, there's been a lot of to me, to you moments, and when Lawrence has stood there holding a mirror that probably weighs, about 40 kilos, and we're like, another centimetre to the right. It's not quite right. No, she can't see her feet, no further down. But you're right, it is in the perfect spot now. And it is like a nice little moment for people to sit there and go, wow. And we find, because the hall is so beautiful, you don't need to fill it with thousands of pounds worth of flowers. You can do if you want, but the hall really speaks for itself. And the amount of brides, and obviously grooms as well, that come and can actually visualise where their pictures are going to be on the day as well.
That's nice.
Even if it's raining outside, we've got a brilliant wet weather contingency because we can fit everybody inside the hall with the amount of rooms that we've got. But to be able to say, oh gosh, those gorgeous white pillars, next to the sunbar are going to look gorgeous on our photos.
Even if it rains.
Well, that's really important.
Exactly
there's a lot of venues that don't have a rain plan, so they could have had millions spent and they've still not thought about the very basics of what happens when it rains. Where are you going to take those family pictures? Where's that going to happen?
And let's face it, in the country that we live in at the moment,
it's a common thing, and it's baffling. There are some venues that are just absolutely designed, or they don't care, that once the ceremony's over, and it's out you go. And mums and dads are not going to stand there with umbrellas and have their family pictures done. There needs to be spaces for these things to happen, and there needs to be enough indoor options for couples to have a variety of things. But couples, you can take a couple out with an umbrella and it's not a big deal.
Some of those photos look quite nice, don't they?
I was going to say, we've had a wedding and it was raining for the first hour, a bit of drizzle, but I must say I love those pictures.
And they are gorgeous.
Colourful umbrellas and things.
And the snow as well that we had before Christmas. How fantastic were those pictures. And we like to have that degree of flexibility. We've got a couple of weddings coming up this year where they really want to have outdoor ceremonies. And, it's quite a decent number of people. So it's like, yes, you can be outside. But then we will double up with the ballroom where we can seat probably up to 100 in there. So we know that on the day we're going to have enough people here to be able to go, right, we can work it out. They're going to be outside or they're going to be inside. So we love to have a smaller wedding, should we say, inside the hall. And I do think that they're becoming more popular. We've had so many requests, for that size wedding. So we can have the morning room as a gorgeous ceremony room, or it doubles up as an area where it's the bar for in the evening time, or we can do both. And then the ballroom tends to be either a larger ceremony room or we have it as your wedding breakfast. And, you know, we've seen that room change, haven't we, so many times with the different colour schemes, with draping. You know, it just looks absolutely stunning. And then obviously we've got our second element where you can have a marquee, which is located in the most beautiful area of the gardens. And you can really put your own touch on that, can't you?
Lawrence was very specific about that. He wanted the marquee to be in a place where you could walk through the gardens to get to it, so you appreciate the gardens. But once you're there, you're looking back at the house as well.
That's a really good idea.
And that was, and then it's also...
it's easy accessible as well.
Very accessible, and it's got the tree lining, so you're protected from the road as well. So you still feel like you're in the middle of the country. You know?
Then we took a walk up there with yourself, didn't we? And it's perfectly located.
It is, isn't it? And you're clear. I mean, you're literally a minute's walk from the house, if that, on, you know, the gorgeous paths that go through. But like you say, it's all the smaller things where there's a separate supplier entrance. You know, everything's round the side of it, so you're never going to see, you know, a load of cars on your wedding day. You know, it is perfectly located.
That's always a bugbear of mine as well. We there's some big, some in North Wales as well, some big manor houses, and they look lovely, and they just don't keep the parking off the front of the building during a wedding day. You know, and it's like, that's gorgeous 18th century building and a Ford Focus. You know? And it's just the small stuff of, we'll just keep the front clear. You know, it's plenty of car parking space. Just block that off and make sure that people aren't parking on the front.
That car park has been nicely hardcored and covered in lighting. And
so people know where to go. And we do actually have two separate entrances. Actually, we've got three really, but two main entrances. So the front drive is reserved for clients only, and then we have our supplier entrance and parking round the back. And we do find, you know, when we've had couples turn up and they've had the drones flying behind them, because the driveway is that incredible. And like you say, you don't want to have any other cars parked there, do you?
That's it.
But again, it's like we had one wedding where the weather was awful and cars wanted to drop guests off because, you know, right outside the front door. I mean, our car park is right next to the house. But when you see all these ladies get out in the most incredible outfits with, you know, like 5-inch heels. So, you know, again, on the day of a wedding, we have a logistics team who are there to cover all of that. Yes, that's fine. Let's just do a turning circle quickly.
That's exactly what you should be doing.
And straight down. Because again, you don't want to, you know, get a member of the family turn up at the front door and for somebody angry at the front door to go, no, you can't park here, go and turn around.
Exactly.
It's like, let me grab an umbrella for you. Let's get you in, please. Could you take the car back down to the car park? You know, and it is having that tight-knit team. I mean,
and they could have missed the car park as much as it's well signposted. They're so excited. And they could be having a conversation with each other. Oh, this is amazing. This is beautiful. They drive past it and then they see...
They're too busy looking at the actual building, aren't you? You can't help it. When you turn around that corner, you're like, wow. So you are going to, you know...
And there'll be some gorgeous venues we'll go to where they've got that space out front, but it only takes one person to park there for a moment and drop somebody off. And without that team there, the next person goes, oh, that's okay to park there. And then, of course, the next person parks there. And now you've got a few cars that you've got to try and move and a few conversations you've got to have. And they just want to come and enjoy themselves. They didn't realise there was an etiquette.
That's it, isn't it? And like you say, it's just making sure that happens on the day. I mean, we love working with a couple of preferred wedding planners that we have here. And we always say to people, it's great to get in a wedding planner. But Kirsty and I, in particular myself, we deal with all of the coordination. So it's only Kirsty and I that a bride will deal with, or a planner. And the planners always say, you're going to put us out of a job because you do too much, you know. And we really do want to make sure that the day runs perfectly for people, and it is making sure all of those little boxes are ticked, really, isn't it? And it's small things like when the bride and groom walk through the door, it's where the gifts are going to be put. You know, a lot of these gifts are really expensive. They want to feel like they're in a nice, safe place for them to come back the next day to come and pick them up, you know. And we don't tend to say to people, everything's got to be left at 9 o'clock in the morning, do we? We know the next day you're going to want to lie in bed for a little while because you've had a really good party. And it's a sign of a good night, isn't it? It's all those little things, really.
And that's what matters. That's the quality.
So I'm a bride. I've seen the hall and I think, wow, I want to get married here. How do I get involved with you guys then?
Okay, so after you've made initial contact, which is always a personal one, you don't get an automated email or anything, so you either call myself or Kirsty.
Oh, brilliant.
And then you have, or an email, we'll arrange for a viewing, which is a really relaxed viewing where you come in and you actually probably sit in the drawing room, which is the room that we're in now.
Nice.
Which is a gorgeous large room with 3 beautiful cascading windows looking onto the lawns and the cricket pitch and our terraces and also the sun bar. If it's in the winter time, like today, we've always got a lovely roaring fire going.
It is a beautiful room, really, really beautiful.
It's lovely, isn't it? And when you look at how tall the ceilings are and the gorgeous plasterwork, you know, looking round and like the curtains, it's just a beautiful, elegant room, isn't it?
It's very relaxed, yeah.
Lovely room. So we'd have a good chat through, decide what kind of theme they're going for, because as you know, every wedding is so unique. So it's really nice to get a feel for the couple. We'll take you on a bit of a guided tour of the hall.
Do you guide people through, if they come to you and say, I love the place, it's amazing, and rightly so, but I don't know what theme I've got in mind, or I'm not sure yet, or I'm still looking for inspiration, I'm still looking for ideas.
Absolutely.
Is there any help with guidance with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we tend to do is, as we guide them through the hall, we'd be guiding them through how their day would happen.
Yeah.
Or how their guests are going to be arriving, and like to get the whole flow.
Okay.
And then once that happens, we tend to sit down and brainstorm again, and you know, make the conversation go a little bit further.
Yeah.
And we tend to get more ideas. And I think you tend to find you've got 2 types of couple really. One that are super organised and know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And then another couple, which is the majority, it is so overwhelming, you know, the journey of getting married. And there's so many options out there of the different flowers to the photographers, to the videographers, you know, what do you want? And I think social media plays a large part of that. And we always say, be firm on your budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Write down everything that you like, and I always say, don't I, attach 3 of your favourites to each topic, and then see where your budget's coming in, and we can guide them. You know, if we've got people who have got a healthy budget for, you know, flowers, we know the best florists to put them in the right direction to. As much as we've got florists that work incredibly well with, you know, a smaller budget, if the budget's going elsewhere.
And it makes absolute sense. We get people coming to us and they'll say, oh, you know, I'm having this registry office wedding, and we'll say, you know, I'm going to be really honest with you, we're probably not the right fit for that. We're probably a bit overkill. But I know people who would do that, who'd be perfect for it, and they can just pop out for a few hours and do this kind of thing. And that's and what that type of guidance you're offering there is super useful. Instead of just going, you know, go speak to these are the people we like the most, regardless of how expensive they are, regardless of how well that fits into your budget. These are the people we like the most, and the way you're suggesting the right people is really, really good.
And I think because we have such a close relationship with our suppliers as well, you know, you get to know how people work, you know, and if people come in and say, like, I'll use photography, for example, they'll just say, oh, do you happen to know any photographers? And it's like, well, what kind of vibe do you want on a day? And some people are like, we don't want to see the photographer. We want them to the side. We don't want them taking over. And then we've got other clients who go, well, the photographer's going to be with us all day, so we want somebody that's got a good vibe, that's going to bring energy. So you automatically know who you're going to recommend and who you're going to place in. So that's how we kind of expand the conversations with people. But we tend to start at the, you know, the entrance of the house, don't we? And after they've come up the driveway, and like you say, everybody's always taken aback by the driveway. And with the sun being out, hopefully quite a lot of the time, we tend to do a little guided tour of the terraces, because as their guests arrive, that's where they'll hopefully be having their canapes and champagne.
One of my favourite aspects is that the bridal suite is over the front of the house. So if the bride is up there getting ready or touching up, she can see her guests arriving.
I think that's really lovely, really, really lovely. It's a nice little, you're not just tucked away in some corner.
No,
you know, you've spent all this money and done all this planning.
I mean, if it was me, I'd be there at the window.
But the gardens and how you've done them as well, isn't it? Like, it's nice for the guests to walk around the gardens. So we tend to look at that and show people the sun bar, which is our bar outside, which we always say, especially in the good months, it's great to have it open because it makes another little breakout area for guests, especially for later on in the evening.
It's a fantastic bar, really, really
It's good. And if the cricket's on in the background as well, it's a really lovely spot, isn't it?
People know if they want the cricket around or not. I mean, obviously they can't choose whether it is or not, but if it is, it's lovely. It's such a relaxing sound, being able to hear, what do they say, leather on willow.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah. But one of the areas, one of the areas just outside the sun bar, which you can see on the lawn actually as we look out from the drawing room, is actually a beautiful area for a ceremony. It lends itself because you've got the pathways, the perfect aisle. You could probably seat about 100 people out there. Wow. And we tend to dress the sun bar, don't we? So we always put like nice, light, soft material in the windows so people can't see the bar. But the building, because it's such a beautiful, small pavilion-looking building, it looks so nice as a backdrop as well on the wedding photographs. So after we've shown people around there, we'll come into the house. And as you enter the house, you have the beautiful entrance hall where you've got the gorgeous fireplaces, haven't you? And all of the natural materials in there, as well as all of the original features with the plasterwork, the parquet floor. I mean, you lovingly, Kirsty is very sustainable as well. So you will only use the mixes that you do with the essential oils to clean the house as well. So all the wood's polished. Yeah. So the smell when you walk in.
I've noticed there's no chemical smell anywhere.
Yeah, it's all natural.
You can normally tell there's something with woods and especially with certain surfaces it just kind of hits you because a cleaning crew have been in.
Right, I put essential oils in everything. So the panelled rooms, like the dining room and the library just before the ballroom, weeks polishing and rubbing oils and
it smells gorgeous though. As soon as you walk through, you're like, oh, I wish my house smelled like this every time we walked in. It's amazing.
No, I love it. I really love it. It's a bit like cutting the lavender out in the garden. You're just surrounded in those smells. I love it.
So how does the journey start then when you arrive on the wedding day?
Well, this is really exciting. So it depends, obviously, it doesn't matter whether it's 2 brides, 2 grooms, a bride and a groom, whichever member of the party is getting ready with us in the morning. We'll be greeted by a beaming smile of Kirsty on the front door.
Lovely.
Where they are taken up to the bridal suite with their bridal party. Or, for example, the grooms tend to use the cottages as well. It just depends which way they want to do it. So we welcome in the team, and normally we'll have hair and makeup. Some days that starts at 7, some days that starts at 10 o'clock, depending on what time the wedding is.
Whereabouts does the hair and makeup usually start? What part of the building?
What part of the house?
They can choose. It can either be the bridal suite or down here in this very room.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, the reason why we like the drawing room to be used as well is mainly for the photographs. So both rooms lend themselves really well because of the windows. But I have to say, some of the window shots of the bride getting ready in this room are incredible. But that said, the bridal suite as well is really lovely. There's always a lot of stuff that comes with the bridal party. So we've got a little room next door where we can shove all of those, extra bags. So
all the bags for life and suitcases.
So the photographers can get some lovely shots. But the bridal suite, like Kirsty said, looks over the gardens. It's a very light and airy room.
It is a gorgeous room.
Yeah, beautiful. With a gorgeous full length mirror in there where, we've seen some incredible shots, haven't we, of the bride. Really nice room for first look as well.
Yeah.
So whether that's, father of the bride or, groom or, whoever it is, bridesmaids seeing or the groom's party seeing, first of all, really lovely room to do that in. And then they are guided down the stairs, and as we know, the stairs are absolutely stunning.
They are. So there's an amazing entrance, amazing
really
staircase.
Beautiful. So if you're having your ceremony here, the bride will come down the stairs or the groom will come down the stairs and be either taken into the morning room or the ballroom. if we're having the ceremony inside the house. The morning room, again, looks over all of the gardens. It's beautiful room, very elegant room.
It is, it's very nice, very, very elegant. I love the windows in there.
Yeah,
really nice.
Really nice. It's a firm favourite of us, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually have a favourite room thinking about it, but I do love the morning room. But really lends itself to a lovely intimate ceremony in there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if they're having the ceremony in there, that's where they go. Or we will take them into the ballroom. So we go through the centre hallway, through the little library, and into the ballroom where their guests will be waiting for them for the ceremony. Which the ballroom is a original floor in there, so it's a sprung floor.
Yeah.
Great for dancing on, with some stunning cascading windows, mirrors that are set within the plasterwork, all original features in there. So
it's lots of light, isn't there, just pouring into that space, which is really nice.
And with the chandeliers, every room has got stunning chandeliers in it.
I've noticed that there's a nice grandeur about each room, which is really lovely. Makes it very elegant.
Yeah, I mean, which is your favourite room, would you say, at the hall?
That's a really tough one. I have memories in all of them.
That's really good, though, that you couldn't answer quickly.
Yeah.
Because it just goes to show that they've all got something special going on with them that you can't
really
pick between
do.
them.
The ballroom, we've had some epic Nerf gun battles in. This
when
used
there's
to
no
be
guests here.
Although that would be fun.
Maybe an interesting wedding.
Yeah.
You never know.
You do never know, but they will have met their match in Kirsty and I, let me tell you.
Yeah.
We used to have the paintballing down in the woods, which I'm sure is something which we will probably get up and running again. Because a lot of our couples are wanting to do the 2-day weddings, which is what we actually really encourage.
Yeah.
If not arriving on the Friday night, nice intimate dinner on the Friday evening, followed by your celebration on Saturday. And then to have the Sunday to be able, depending on what time of the year it is, you can be in the cricket pitch, the cricket players aren't playing. We've looked at doing entertainment like the crazy golf that you can have here, laser clays. So you could really make a gorgeous day of it the next day. But we've had some great fun, haven't we, doing the paintballing?
Yeah. Paintballing, foraging days as well.
Yes, we've had great foraging days here as well.
Just creating an all-round experience instead of just get married and go.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Well, I know we've had a couple of people wanting to actually get married within the woodlands here, and they are stunning, aren't they?
Yeah.
They really are beautiful, and it'll make it a lot easier now the licensing has changed, that you can get married in different areas.
Really opens it up, doesn't it, to whatever your imagination is.
Absolutely. And again, making the wedding your own,
Yes.
And I think that's what's so beautiful about the hall. There's so many options and beautiful spots. You never really compromise.
No.
That's what's so nice about it.
So where can you get married then on the grounds? Where can you have a ceremony?
So outside, obviously, weather permitting, and obviously it depends on the size of your party. We tend to say just outside here, next to the sun bar, is a really lovely area. We've also got the front lawn as well for a smaller party, but we really like to say, where do you feel like you want to get married outside? We're happy, flexible, to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Inside, again, it depends on the size of the party, because we have had people think about getting married in here, haven't we, when there's only 4 or 5 of them.
In fact, one of the couples that we have met on this journey remember getting married in this very room.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I think they had about 40 people.
Gosh, wow. Yes. And then you can get married in the morning room or the ballroom.
Amazing.
So...
And then what happens after the ceremony?
After the ceremony, hopefully the weather is lovely and your guests and yourself will go outside and enjoy a nice glass of fizz and some canapes on the terraces.
So
Sounds
drinks
lovely.
reception then, is that on this side where the bar is, or could it be
all around
anywhere
the house.
you like?
Yeah, I think what's great about the house is because you're in a nice long rectangle with where all of the rooms are, it allows your party to stay close together, so you're not going to lose anybody no matter what the party size is.
That's good.
So we tend to have people, the house is so lovely, people naturally want to be inside the house as well. So we either have brides that say, no, we want everybody outside. So we just ensure that there's a member of staff stopping people walking through the house. And we almost use the day as an unveiling of the house as well, don't we? You know, it is a journey through.
Nice. Yeah.
And we always tend to find that everybody ends up in the drawing room at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You know, taking the heels off, needing a bit of a break. You're near the outside bar, so that works really well. So yeah, we tend to have people outside, and then if it's raining, everybody's inside.
Amazing.
Walking around, don't we? And, you know, depending on how big the group is, sometimes we'll open up the dining room to allow people to have a little bit of extra space in there as well.
That's nice that they've got so much space they can fill, you know, all these different areas.
Yeah.
So let's talk wedding breakfast.
Yeah.
What happens there?
So wedding breakfast normally happens in the ballroom, or it's over in the marquee.
Okay.
So if it's in a marquee, guests are then, you know, taken over to the marquee, where you then have the great reveal of the marquee. And again, we tend to do that in sections, don't we, where the dance floor's, you know, hidden away as well. We did a great event actually last September where we had a mega bar in the centre of the marquee. You know, it looked really great.
Awesome.
So either the wedding breakfast happens over there, or we have the wedding breakfast in the ballroom here. So the guests are taken through the library, which is a lovely small room, where we'll have the table plan put up in there. It's a nice area for, I think people have started putting quite large table plans in, haven't they? Or doing the walls and everything.
Yes, it's a big feature now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really great. That's a perfect place to do it.
Yeah.
So people will find obviously where their table is, then they'll be guided through into the ballroom. What's great about the ballroom is as well, we have a stage in there.
Yes,
so
I noticed that.
It's great, isn't it? So it is a natural place for the band to go.
Yeah.
Or really if we have got a larger party, we'll have top table on the stage.
Oh, amazing.
So we can have quite a bit of flexibility, can't we? But yeah, that's where, you know, the party starts, should we say. So leading into obviously either speeches. We tend to, as you know, you then have the speeches, the cutting of the cake, and you have the food.
Yeah.
And everybody's quite interesting how people want it in certain ways, either speeches before. I mean, if it's sunny, we always say it could be quite nice to do a couple, like one of the speeches outside, then come inside, you know, break it up to have that flexibility with it.
Yeah.
But that's where the breakfast occurs in there.
Amazing. And then evening reception, where does the party happen?
Well, if it's in the marquee, it's in the marquee, obviously. Then you have, and I think what's great about a marquee is you don't have to have the turnaround, because normally we've got enough space over there to be able to have up to probably 100, 150, and then on the other side to have the dance floor.
Oh, amazing. Is there just like a curtain reveal or something?
Yeah,
wow.
But it does just depend how you want to set up your marquee. If you want to have the dance floor in the middle, and, you know, we've done a mixture of round tables and trestle tables. You really can create any look that you want in there. But if not, we will have the reception in the ballroom. Depending on how it's set up, we'll have to just change the room over slightly, so it's all hands on deck a little bit for the dance floor.
Yeah.
But again, in the past, we've done it where the ballroom floor needs to be protected. So what we do is sometimes the whole floor is protected, so we don't have to have a changeover. We had one wedding where there was quite a few of the older generation there, and they really didn't want to disrupt them by saying everybody up, we need to change, the room round. So combated that by doing a floor over the whole of the ballroom floor, which was great because it meant it turned into a giant dance floor, didn't it?
Yeah, so
it
did. We just shifted a couple of the tables, just a fraction, to create a bit more of a central space, but otherwise the entire room was a dance floor.
And I have a technical question, because this comes up in certain venues. What's the noise situation in terms of, because some venues are very limited in terms of parties have to stop at this time or can't be so loud. Some even have to have like softeners on the band, to kind of make sure it's everything's kept really quiet. What sort of party can you have here?
So everything that is outside obviously has a limit to it that we have to adhere to. So that covers up with the marquee as well. But we tend to find now that most bands that we speak to are like, oh yeah, we don't do that, we've got that covered. We're not doing that. But inside the house, there aren't really any restrictions that we have with it. Obviously, because the ballroom floor is, so beautiful, we don't really recommend any, kind of mosh pit dancing.
No raves going on there.
But again, we've never had that.
But in terms of noise, we have a conversation with the band beforehand. And we've never had any.
It does come up. It comes up every now and then. Couples kind of get caught out by it because they didn't realise they've hired this amazing band or something, and the venue have got severe limitations because they're nestled in a certain place where there's noise restrictions and things like that, and it just comes up as one of those small little tiny things where they go, oh, I didn't know, and then all of a sudden their idea of this party just kind of feels like it's diminished a little bit because everything has to be a little bit quieter.
Right.
But it's great that you're in such a place where you can have like an amazing party happening, and
you don't really have any close neighbours, do you? So
well, yeah, I mean, we
particularly.
are. No, but we. I have to say that it is a fine line, isn't it? And like I say, there are so many bands now where you're not going to those extreme levels of noise anyway. I mean, we are respectful of our surroundings.
Certainly with the marquee wedding, we are mindful of the neighbours who, although they're not very close, they
would still be able to hear on outside. Yeah.
So we do absolutely keep them in mind when it comes to noise levels, especially outside.
So what happens after you're married? What happens the next day?
So if you stayed in one of our cottages, you're obviously on site with us. Our caterers can create a breakfast for you if you wanted to come back into the hall the next day with your guests.
That's nice.
If it is, that doesn't mean you have to do a full second day wedding. Next day it's come, and if you've got time to pick your stuff up, most people like to come back the next day and collect a few of their belongings, because it's amazing what gets left behind after a wedding, doesn't it? We've had all sorts. And the
flowers, people always want to take some of the flowers home with them as well.
Sure,
although I always find it amazing how many flowers get left. So many people are like, oh no, we don't want them, so it's like, right, we'll hand them over to suppliers normally, don't we? They just say, please give them to suppliers. So they'll come the next day, they'll pick up their bits. We tend to have tea or a coffee with them, a bit of a debrief of what they've enjoyed. It's funny how people seek us out, and we think, oh, you'll want to be with your guests, but they want to be with us. They want to be like, oh gosh, it was amazing. You remember this bit. So it's
that's the family feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
They feel connected.
Yeah,
I love the morning after with all the stories of what they clearly remember as parts of their favourite pieces of the day. I love going over those memories.
And I think what's great is as well, if we've had a function where things have gone wrong behind the scenes for various reasons, like if a guest has forgotten a blazer or like everything that happens, I always find it amazing the next day how particularly the groom and the bride, and I'd say the bridal party, perhaps not the bridesmaids, never have a clue what's happened. Because it's so seamless of just being able to get things sorted straight away. Like I was speaking to one of the brides and I was like, do you know that we went over by an hour? And she was like, I didn't even realise.
Amazing.
Didn't even realise. Really? I was like, no. But what we tend to do is we've got some great links with a great taxi company locally, Apollo, who are fabulous. And, for the end of the evening where we are very remote. And Apollo are great because we've got a QR code which is given to each guest, or it's popped on the bar and you scan it.
Amazing.
You book your own taxi, you get your own taxi slot, and we're prioritised with them if we have any event going on.
Well, they must see a flurry of bookings coming through, mustn't they? That
evening?
They know when there's a wedding on.
Family friends, so they're really good. And we always prep them. We've got a wedding, we're going to have about 30 guests going back to Carden Park or wherever. So it's nice. We like to, at the end of the evening, it's nice for it to flow in the right way and to get guests to the right place they want to be, because it's just awful thinking if we've got a guest whose taxi they've booked themselves and they don't turn up.
Oh, wow.
But then that following day, there's there is a timeline where we want to get the house turned around, but it's not a major rush. We don't want it to be like a
because you're not a wedding factory.
Exactly. We won't have a function on that next day anyway, so it will be a case of you know, come get your things and.
Oh, that's lovely, because we do get that
chat.
feedback from people who are booked for wedding factories, and they do find, oh no, I can't get in till this time, and it affects everything. It affects their hair and makeup, and having to do, you know, moving from one location to another, and the stress they feel under because they don't always get to pick their ceremony time with registrars. Sometimes it's just the slot that's available. Then the venue putting restrictions on you in terms of times, and all of a sudden it just takes away from that magic a little bit of now you're under a little bit of stress, now you're under a little bit of pressure. That of course then translates into our world, because then we've got less time to do stuff. So then we've got to move things along quickly.
and that's what you never want to do either. You never want them to feel rushed. And that starts from the viewing as well. You know, we never do back-to-back viewings. It's either you have a morning viewing, so you can have it to an hour to 4 hours, or you have an afternoon viewing. You know, we'll never do more than 2 viewings in a day, because you don't want two couples necessarily seeing one another and thinking, oh, well, we've got to go now because somebody else is here. You know, no, take your time.
That's nice though. It has an exclusive feel to it, through and through, which is quite more than just we don't do more than one wedding on a day kind of exclusive feel, but a genuine exclusive feel when somebody's prepared to give you time. I think that's really nice.
I mean, don't get me wrong, like you say, there's a place for it, but when you hear of like brides leaving one door and another one coming in another door, and like I say, don't get me wrong, that works for a lot of places. It doesn't sit right.
No, it's not the image we want to create
at all.
And there's got to be something for everybody, hasn't there? At the end of the day,
absolutely.
So do you have any tips for any couples or suppliers?
One of the first things that we talk about with couples when we meet them in the initial meeting, when they come to have a look around the hall, is think about the main parts of the day that are really key for your enjoyment of the day. So, for example, the flowers, if they're really, really special to you, list exactly what it is that you're looking for. But keep that list to a minimum, to a maximum, of say 3 or 4 points, so that you don't overload yourself. So really, that's one of the first things that we think about is trying to not overload our couples with too many options.
Too many choices can be too much, can't it?
Yeah, because there's so many amazing options out there. I've been blown away by the supplies that we've come across. The different things that you can add on to your day, which are fabulous, but it can be overwhelming if you're not prepared for it.
It's unlimited really now, isn't it? Because there's something for everyone. Everything can be catered for.
Absolutely, the sky's the limit.
And like you said, with this building, you could put loads of flowers into it and make it look amazing, but at the same time you could get away with just having a few, and the building itself speaks for itself. So you need to consider your budget. That's another big tip as well, and start with that. Use your budget in those points originally, and make sure that, because you don't want to be stressing about money at the end of the day, do you? You want to make sure that you stick to your budget, but get in the really key aspects to your day as well. So we really recommend that the couples, they enjoy the day as it progresses. It's really, really important that they stay hydrated and nourished, that they take time for themselves. I love our bridal suite for that, and the drawing room as well. Both of them lend themselves to taking a moment to sit down, get the weight off your feet, have a drink, and really gather yourself up so that you can reflect on
the day as it happens, moment to moment. I love those moments of reflection. I do often find myself just sitting here and looking out at the gardens and
do you ever suggest to the couple to just take 5 minutes at some point, either just after the ceremony or at some point during the day, just to have a moment without photographers and videographers and everybody else, and just
because you've got to remember, you have got a full team next to you, and also at least 50 guests who you've got to talk to that you actually rarely speak to one another. So to have a moment where you can sit down for, like Kirst says, 5 or 10 minutes and actually be present in where your day is, and being like, oh wow, gosh, that was mad. And a lot of the time we hear grooms saying, I saw her walking down the aisle, but has then actually not taken time to fully, look at, his gorgeous bride or groom. And it's lovely to be able to step back and go, oh gosh, you really do look incredible. And I always say as well, we like to say to them, relax. Really feel, have confidence in us and the team around that we're going to do all the legwork, because there's some people that really like to control the day, quite rightfully so. But it's just to have that, look, you're here to be a guest at your own wedding as well. Now let's just enjoy it. So we find that's really important. So.
Definitely, and spend time together.
Trust the people you've paid to do their job.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah. We also really say to people now, to have that first look, especially in the bridal suite upstairs. As we all know, it looks great, doesn't it, looking back, on the video, but to actually have that moment again where you're present of that first seeing the bride or first seeing the groom, it's a really magical moment, not just for the bridesmaids or, father of the bride or mother of the bride, whoever you wish that to be. It's, really key magical moment of the day.
It's very emotional, isn't it?
It's one of our favourite things to. It's one of our favourite things to shoot. It's one of our favourite things to be a part of. It's one of the things we always recommend people do because it's a one-off life moment, and especially for dads and daughters, I think that's a really beautiful time where, regardless of how you think they'll react to it, deep down they all kind of want to be and it's a respect thing. Normally most fathers get asked before, asked for permission for marriage stuff. It's nice that they're the first person who gets to see their daughter, ready
and there's
to go.
often so much happening as well throughout the wedding day that I think it is really important to make sure that there are those special moments where you can be with a loved one, whether it is your dad or
whomever's walking you down the aisle.
Your husband.
It comes up a lot in speeches. We get, say dads or whoever's walked them down the aisle kind of stand up and spontaneously they put it into their speech because they said, I got invited into the room this morning to see my daughter or to see whoever. And it's you realise then how special that little moment was to them.
Yeah.
In fact, it resonated enough for them to even include it in their speech because it wasn't a part of the day they'd really thought about and they were asked to do it, and it's a nice moment to be a part of. So especially when you've got a beautiful setting for that to happen in, and it's a relaxed, elegant setting as well. It just kind of adds to that feeling, and it becomes a core memory then, doesn't it, for people?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually good that you mentioned speeches there as well, because we always tend to say, obviously with the timeline of how the day's running, we like to know how much time's left for speeches.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we find key, because I don't know if you guys agree, but most of the time speeches overrun, don't they?
They do. We say 5 to 7 minutes is the golden time for a speech to happen. If you can't say it in 5 to 7 minutes, it's not worth saying.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're just rambling otherwise.
Right.
And if you times that by 3 people, typically,
Yeah.
sometimes 4 now, because people go for the 2 best men thing. And that's now become such a common practice. What you don't realise is you've now got 4 speeches that are happening.
Yeah.
Maybe the bride wants to say something on top of that. If they're all 10 minutes each, 3 to 4 speeches, that's 30 or 40 minutes of just sat there listening to somebody.
Yeah.
It's quite a long time, really.
It's a long time if you've got a room full of guests
Yes.
that are really hungry
Yes.
as well, isn't
You
it?
really
Yes,
notice it when they
absolutely.
are hungry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
5
drinks
to
are
7
flowing.
minutes, we say.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? And you know, some of the weddings that we've seen as well, it's even good to have one speech at the beginning, and then sometimes they'll be serving the starters as it's happening, and then there's another speech that goes on. I just think that's quite key as well, is to firmly understand when the speech is going to happen, because you also don't want somebody to then go, actually, I'm going to do the speech now, and randomly set up, and you've not got the tech set up in the right spot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that depends on your layout of your room as well. You've really got to coordinate through yourselves to make sure if you've got a really tightly packed room and it's perfect for, if you're having speeches between courses, that does mean people have got to keep turning. It means, I don't know, say tripods have to come in for filming and et cetera, et cetera. And of course, the catering team have got to kind of pause, and they need to clear and get food out and stuff. But when you've got a little bit more space to work with, then that might be much more feasible. And you go, actually, that would be really good. So it's always good to run that stuff through you to say, this is what I'm thinking. And you can say, well, actually, that room layout wouldn't be a problem at all. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Or actually, we're already going to be squeezing around to get service out. The guests won't notice that, but it's a behind the scenes thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? It's like working with the suppliers so well, because we had one wedding that was set up. in a really great way. It was beautiful, it worked well, but they went for the larger chairs, which means that we were a little bit tighter on the trestle tables. Now, because we work so closely with our in-house caterers, we knew that was going to put an extra 10 minutes on serving, because there was only one way that they could go
slower
down.
to get around, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's all of these little details. And I think if you, like us, work so well with your suppliers, and we always say, don't we, with the suppliers, to have that great communication with us, talk about everything, even if it's something that they think is a small minor part, you know, let's talk about it. Let's make sure we've all got the flexibility to bend and flex. And I think we found it quite a few times that if the caterers are going to have an issue, the bar staff will know as well.
Yeah.
And then it just means that they can help, or they're not going to be serving water at that time because the caterers have got to get it in and out, in and out. So it's just that open communication, really, isn't it?
Nothing's ever a problem. It just requires more detail.
Planning is
That's
always
exactly
the key.
it.
Yeah,
It's
and
being a
knowing that
team
people
player.
will chip in where they need to as well.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think we've learned a lot, haven't we, about Marchwiel Hall?
Yeah, it's a gorgeous venue.
It's a gorgeous venue. I recommend anyone looking to get married, if you're looking in the North Wales, Chester area or wider, come check it out. We'll expand that to Cheshire.
Absolutely. All over, destination weddings.
How do they get in touch with you?
So they can either get in touch with us via email, which is info@mhevents.co.uk, or you can call us on 0776 99 74417. Although I have to say, most people do get in contact with us on our socials. So we like to keep our finger on the pulse. So anybody that contacts us via socials, we'll be back in contact with them as soon as possible.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you both for coming.
Thank you for being here.
Having you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.